Hello, I'm Jamie and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be letting Netflix decide what TV show I'm going to watch next. So I'm going to be doing this by using the play something button that Netflix introduced a few months ago, I think. Yes, I've been quite intrigued by it, kind of thinking like what kind of stuff it would recommend. So yeah, I decided that whatever it chooses, I will have that as the next show I will watch. So I have set a couple of rules. So the first rule was that I wanted it to be something new. I didn't want to have to I didn't want to rewatch anything. I think that wouldn't make this so much of an interesting video. I wanted it to be something new. And the second rule was that I couldn't skip anything unless it was like a repeated show. I could skip it then, but if it was something new, I had to watch the first thing that it recommended to me. So a few days ago, I let Netflix decide what I wanted to watch, and I'll put that clip in now. So, as future Jamie has explained, I am going to be letting Netflix choose the next show I'm going to watch. And yeah, hopefully it's something good. I don't know if I can filter it by like series or films. And also it's not available on desktop, so I won't be able to screen record to show it. I'll just have to do it on my phone. So yeah, I'm going to just click the play something button here and we'll see what we get. Superstore, okay, picking up where you left off. I have seen all of Superstore, so I'm not sure why they've given me that, but I'm going to click the play something else because I want it to be something that I haven't seen. I do recommend Superstore if you haven't seen it. So yeah, let's play something else. Okay, this isn't very good. I have seen The Office. I have seen The Office on Netflix multiple times before, so yeah, I'm a bit confused as to why it's doing this. Yeah, I think I'll see what else we can get. So we get something good, something new. That's all I want. I just want something new. Okay, cool. The Woman in the House Across the Street from the Girl in the Window. I have not seen this, and I actually replied to a comment yesterday with somebody recommending I should watch it. So that is what I'm going to watch next. I thought it'd be a little bit better with the way that it worked. Because yeah, for it to show two things that I have already seen before, I think isn't quite the best algorithm. But yeah, like they're in my list. I have seen them. It was just like, I guess I rewatched it and didn't finish a rewatch. That's why it's recommending it to me. But no, I will definitely watch this one. And I like Kristen Bell. She's been in The Good Place, so I guess it might link that as well. And it says I may like it because it's a murder mystery, and I think that's quite accurate because I do like murder mystery. And it is kind of like a satirical parody from what I believe. So yeah, I'm quite excited to watch this. I'll check back in once I've watched the first episode. So I've just watched the first couple of episodes, and it's a good sign that I've gone straight into watching a second episode because I did really enjoy the first one. I think it did set up like the show, the themes quite well, and also kind of like the tone of it as well, because it wasn't as like outwardly satirical as I thought. It's more of like a lot of little references to like the things that came before it and the things that they're kind of parodying. But yeah, I really enjoyed the first episode, and yeah, I watched the second one as well. Yeah, I think it's really interesting. I think it definitely works better as a series than it would have done as a film, so I'm very happy the fact that it is a series. So yeah, I'm very much enjoying it. I think Kristen Bell is really good in it. I think she's a very good actress, so yeah, I'm very much enjoy her. I think there are definitely lots of different paths it could go down. My theory at the moment is that like they're going to like pin it on, or like they're going to make it seem like it's the guy. I can't remember his name. But they're going to make it seem like it's him, but then it's not going to be him, and it's going to be like a twist, because I feel like there's definitely got to be like a big twist. I don't know, maybe like the postman. I think there's definitely something odd with him. Maybe something with the daughter as well. I don't know. I think it's definitely not going to be like the obvious suspects. So yes, Netflix decided to recommend The Woman in the House Across the Street from the Girl in the Window, which is a super long title. And from this video, like going forwards in this video, I'm just going to call it The Woman in the House. So as I said in my little like first impressions review after watching the first couple of episodes, I did quite enjoy it. And I think that enjoyment kept like pretty much the whole way through. I got a little bit frustrated at parts because for me it kind of went a bit too annoying, I would say, but overall I did quite like it. There are going to be spoilers in this video for the woman in the house. So yeah, so first of all, I think the show is utterly ridiculous, but I kind of like that. I think you shouldn't really take it too seriously, because it is supposed to be like a parody of like a genre. And yeah, I thought it was a pretty good parody. At times I thought maybe it strayed a bit into trying to be too like serious in a way, or like was taking itself a bit too seriously. I think the best way to enjoy the show is just to go in knowing that it's going to be silly and ridiculous and over the top, and I think that way you're going to enjoy it a lot more. So yeah, there were a lot of things that were just quite ridiculous that I'm just gonna like name now. So it was the fact that her daughter died like by like take your daughter to work day, and her husband took his daughter to his job where he worked as an FBI like criminal psychologist, and then the girl was left in a room with a serial killer and a cannibal and was killed in that way, which is so over the top and just so unrealistic, but like hilarious at the time. Like I just couldn't help but laugh when Anna was explaining, that's the name of the main character, when Anna was explaining it, I thought it was like one of her weird delusions, but that is actually the the way that they go with it. And yeah, I thought it was very, very funny. It's just so extreme, just wild kind of plot line. So there are a lot of things with the dramatic, like things that are very, very dramatic. So for example, I don't know how many casserole dishes she drops in this in this show, but it's a lot, and that just seems to be like a main thing throughout. I'm not sure whether casserole dishes are a big thing in like these they're like the genre it's parodying, but I know a lot of them do like is where that like white middle class American family, and that is casserole's a big like popular dish there, so I guess that's kind of the link to it. I think it happened like 3 times in the first 2 episodes, and then at the end she uses a casserole dish to kill the killer, the girl, which if I remember correctly, I predicted that in my little preview, in my little first impressions thing, which I thought I was going a bit too ridiculous by that, but the fact that that actually was like what happened, I'm quite impressed with myself. I think it was kind of like the right level of ridiculousness, but I did find the kind of fight between the two of them a bit too extreme, like a bit too ridiculous. I think that was kind of just part that annoyed me, because I mean, I get she didn't want to kill her because that would make her a murderer, but like, come on, like it's a 7-year-old girl. But yeah, I just thought that was insane. Also, like, I think again in the first episode where she meets Neil, there's like a moment where she drops the casserole dish, and when they're picking it up, they have the whole like hand touch, like staring to each other's eyes like 3 times again, which, yeah, just of course that's a big trope that you see in a lot of things, not just this genre, but yeah, that's a big thing that happens, and it's quite funny to watch it like parodied like that. And another thing that I would say is quite ridiculous as well was the fact that they repeated like certain lines a lot. So one of the ones that made me laugh was she was like stalking people on Instagram, and whenever she got like a slight bit of information, she'd say bingo. And it was like she said it a few times in just like one scene, and yeah, I thought that was quite funny as well. Very well done. And again at the end, there was like 3 people came in and they were like, oh, how's the patient? And then she would giggle and then say something about feels like getting hit by a bus driven by a 7-year-old girl. And like she says that 4 times. And yeah, I just thought that was funny. I wouldn't say it was my favourite, but I think it was definitely, I liked aspects of the satiricalness of it. I think it was done quite well. There are a lot of tropes again, as I said. So the big trope I would say is the mentally unstable main character, typically a female main character. They always, these kind of shows do centre around like a middle class woman who, has like some sort of mental issues that make her like an unreliable narrator, both for like us as an audience and unreliable to the other people in the show, like nobody believes her. So for Anna in this one, she has hallucinations, she's an alcoholic, and she's mixing alcohol with pills, which then turn out to be the wrong prescription of pills. So she like sees her dead daughter. Again, there's quite like a funny, very like dark comedy in this throughout. So yeah, that links to obviously like a very like tragic backstory, and also like complicated backstory where they harbour a lot of guilt over those actions, and then that guilt kind of like drives their character as well. Again, with it being like an unreliable narrator, you have the kind of like police not believing anything she says. Yeah, which happens a lot. I'm like in the middle of watching The Weekend Away on Netflix, and again that's the same thing with like police not believing women. It's a big thing anyway, but this is obviously taken to the extreme. One thing that I found quite frustrating was the like very judgy middle class community. That happens a lot in like crime dramas, and it just really annoys me. But I guess it's kind of accurate in a sense. Yeah, and I like I think this can link to like You as well, the Netflix show, which is the ability these people have to like see things in detail through windows, and like that's not really something that you can do like that often. Like, how are they seeing like such detailed things through the windows? And a big trope that they've used as well is main character having a like extreme phobia. So for this, she has a fear of the rain, and I think Woman in the Window, which I haven't seen, but I believe she has agoraphobia, so like a fear of going outside. So yeah, that's a big thing in these kind of shows. And also I love the fact that she's always kind of like reading books. So I think she's like The Woman in the Lake, and then it's like The Woman on the Cruise or something like that towards the end. And I liked this kind of idea of this woman who enjoys this type of literature and is kind of like taking on that in her personality and like in this situation, and I think that is quite funny. Yeah, so again, as I said, there are a lot of like wild things. So again, the idea that this 7-year-old girl is this like serial killer is just insane. And again, just like little things like her husband being her therapist, that was a twist I wasn't expecting, but I should have expected. And again, I think I mentioned the postman or like the handyman being a bit weird, and I was correct in the fact that he was weird, and the fact that he's a rehabilitated mass murderer who was declared criminally insane, but her husband hired him as the handyman to fix a postbox years ago, and like throughout the whole show he's just fixing his postbox and being weird. Yeah, so in like the last episode, last 2 episodes, there was like 3 or 4 twists, so that's kind of a part where I got a little bit frustrated, because it was just, I should have expected it as well, just kind of like going all over the place, and yeah, I liked that. And it ended with a cliffhanger as well. One thing I thought quite funny was, so she's going on a plane at the end, and the like flight attendant comes over and goes like, red or white wine, and she goes, oh no, I don't drink wine anymore. She goes, I'll take a vodka, and I thought that was quite funny. And again, she mixes those with pills as well. She mixes it with Xanax, so like we're kind of seeing like a lack of character growth on her part. So overall, I did think it was a good show. It's probably not my favourite, and I don't think I will like rewatch it or anything, but if Netflix do come up with like another parody type show, I probably will watch it, even though I have seen it's odd. I know, interestingly, someone recommended this to me in the comments of one of my videos, and they noted that it's quite odd that Netflix is made this very like satirical, kind of like making fun and poking fun of this kind of drama, when they did release The Woman in the Window, which I think is not supposed to be very good. But yeah, no, The Woman in the House is good. Again, like I said, you need to kind of go into the mind that you are going to be watching something like silly, and you will enjoy it, I think. So most importantly, did the Netflix algorithm work? Is it a good recommendation? As you saw in when it recommended it to me, it did recommend Superstore and The Office first, both of which I have already watched on Netflix, and they were kind of tagged as their like continue watching category, which I thought that was a bit odd that they'd recommend that, especially with The Office. That was like a rewatch I was through, like when it was recommended. With Superstore, I believe it was because the like latest series was put on there, so I get that being recommended. Yeah, I guess it works as a kind of like continue watching, but for me, I wasn't expecting kind of too many like repeated things, unless it was something that I had watched previously but not on Netflix. I thought they would kind of jump straight into the new things that I haven't watched. So yeah, I was a bit surprised with being recommended The Woman in the House, because I haven't watched many of these thrillers on Netflix before. I think the only one I've watched is Gone Girl. So yeah, this isn't like typical choice of, again, they're kind of like more films as well. But yeah, maybe because I watched Gone Girl, it kind of boosted this show up into the recommendations. Another thing that I definitely think plays a massive part in why it was recommended to me is because it is a Netflix original, and I have watched quite a lot of Netflix originals, so obviously they will want me to watch their shows, like their like shows that they've made exclusively for Netflix. I can definitely understand why they'd want to recommend those shows to me. So that probably plays the main role in why it was recommended. But however, I do watch a lot of crime dramas. I have watched loads on Netflix as well. Yeah, that kind of aspect, I'm not too surprised why they would want me to watch this new original Netflix original crime drama. So yeah, it kind of makes sense, but it is a little bit like left field for me. I guess kind of mixing the comedy aspect of it as well. I have watched quite a lot of dark comedies on Netflix, so I guess kind of the crime drama, dark comedy, they're kind of like killing two birds with one stone there, so I guess it makes sense. And then the fact that it is a Netflix show. So yeah, I guess the algorithm did work in a sense. I did enjoy the show, so I guess it worked, you know, we're taking that into consideration. But yeah, I'm definitely interested to see what other shows it will recommend, so maybe I will do this again. I'm not sure whether I will use this feature on Netflix like for my day-to-day watching, maybe occasionally if I really can't find something to watch. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked it, then please give it a like, it really helps the channel, and comment down below if you've used this feature, and if you have, what show has it recommended to you, and if you haven't, would you consider using it in the future to like recommend you shows and find you new things to watch? And yeah, subscribe if you want to see more videos to do with TV, and I should hopefully have some videos out for you soon. Thank you for watching. Bye!